All right, guys, we are live. It's episode 56 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thanks for joining us, as usual, every Wednesday night. Here with my co-host, the lovely Kelly Samsel. What's going on, Kelly?
Not a lot. I'm excited about this one.
And we got the good-looking owner of Taccom, Tim Ubel. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, glad to be here tonight.
It's good to have you. We got also Taccom shooters, and these guys are tearing it up on the scene. And then we got Jay Carrillo. What's going on, Jay?
Hey.
And Dylan Easley. What's going on, Dylan?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about three-gun here. We got a lot of three-gun gears. Three-gun gear we're going to talk about. We also have the Rock Castle three-gun Pro-Am match that Kelly and everybody was at over this last couple weekends here. So I want to remind you guys of the Q&A section. In the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see a little kind of like an app that's going to bring you into the Q&A section of the show. You can ask any of us here on the panel any questions by using that app. Also, you can go over to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, and there'll be a post that's about to go up real soon. You can post questions there, and I'll try to transfer back and forth today, and we'll get those questions out. I prefer you use the Q&A app. It's a lot easier on me today, but if you don't know how to use it or something's going on with it, go over to the Shooter's Mindset on Facebook, and you can ask your questions there. So let's get this giveaway out. We had episode 55 giveaway. We were streaming live from Rock Castle Pro-Am match, and it was kind of everything was on the fly. I didn't even know there was a giveaway going to happen, but a lot of great companies threw in some amazing products. Let me see if I had that stuff written down. I don't want to screw up anything. Yeah, here it is. We had a Nordic extension shotgun tube that was thrown in by Ken Anderson himself, so big up to Nordic. We had AP Customs throw in their low mass full carrier group. Armalite threw in a swag pack, and then we had an Ace SOCOM skeleton stock thrown in from Double Star. The winners, let me go over there and pull them actually right now. That giveaway ended, and we're starting a new one, so it's, if you don't win this one, you get another opportunity right here live. I got Raymond Hoadley is the first name that got drawn here, and then I have Michael Broughton is the second name that just drawn up. So you guys are the winners. I'll re-announce this on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page later tonight after the show, so we can get those addresses in, so we can get this stuff shipped out to you. But there we have it. Show sponsors today are, as always, Blade Tech Industries and Brett Russo over there. Blade Tech, big supporters. Also, FortMillMunitions.com. They got some ammo over there if you guys are looking for some. That's FortMillMunitions.com, so go check that out. All right, so let's fire this one off. For those, like, Tim, how did Taccom start? I mean, where did this idea come from? You were sitting down, you were watching Oprah, and all of a sudden it hits you. Tell us the story behind that.
I've been in the shooting industry for a very long time. I started out actually on this was back in 1994. Started dabbling in the AR-15s and was working on a trigger modification, actually modifying the receiver, and I found this company called JP Enterprises. I called them and told them, hey, you guys are kind of working on the same idea that I am, and we work together on this. And that, of course, was John Gangle, and I ended up starting to work for JP Enterprises. I was a designer and procurement engineer. So I left there after about 6 years, and I went to work for another great company, Nordic Components. And I was the engineering manager there, great company. One morning I woke up and said, I am a designer. I don't want to be 70 years old and wonder if I could have done this. So 2.5 years ago, I quit Nordic and started Taccom. And all I can say is having your own business is fun, exciting, and scary all at the same time. For the most part, I've been having a blast. It's been a dream come true for me.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame you there. You kind of work your own hours. You don't have to, you're the boss, obviously. So there's a lot of perks coming with that. You don't have to worry about anybody else telling you what's going on. But Dylan and Jay, what's going on with you guys? I mean, tell us a little bit about your shooting career and how you guys got started.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Well, I'm a chiropractor in Kansas City, and I started shooting about 2 years ago. First major match was with 3 gun as a range officer. After that, you hit the addiction and you can't stop. If it wasn't for my wife and kids being as accepting as they are, I probably wouldn't have done as well as I have so far.
Nice. Take it away, Jay.
So I started shooting guns since I was a kid. Always loved shooting guns. One day I shot a bowling pin match, and it just spiraled from there. Shot an IDPA match, was hooked. That quickly turned into USPSA, and then we got turned loose on 3-gun, and it's been good. Been doing that for almost 4 years now. So 4 years now, so that's been really good. Been having a blast doing that.
So it's fair to say that the game of IDPA got you started.
It did. I had a really good IDPA year. I spent the year. It was 2011 shooting IDPA. Shot the Wisconsin state match. I think I took first expert in that, and then I got wind of USPSA, and I just this the lack of rules and the speed of it just kind of caught my attention really quickly, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the way to go.
I've just got to add, I remember meeting Jay at the Ozark match. I guess it'd be 2 years ago or whatever, and he was helping with the side match, with the XRL side match, and every time somebody would come up, of course with those side matches, they usually load the XRLs and stuff for the people, and Jay always said, no, let me do it, it's great practice, and I'm telling you, Jay has seriously become one of the quickest, fastest, slickest shotgun loaders I've ever seen, and I know it's because all those times helping his side matches, he's like, no, I'll do it for you. So it's been really cool to see him progress. Not that he was, bad beforehand. He wasn't. But I mean, I just know all those times practicing has absolutely paid off for him.
Boy, I tell you what, loading that stock 870, cutting your thumbs on that, it toughens up your thumb.
Right.
It's reported out Vinci nowadays. So
yeah.
That was good times. That was good times for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, obviously Kelly knows these guys pretty well. She's also sponsored by Taccom, uses their gear. I mean, so the conversation is definitely going to come natural for Kelly. But let's see if we have any Q&A sections. I haven't been on there for a second here. Let me check. Oh, we don't have any in yet. But I got one here for Tim. Since the growing popularity of 3-gun, I mean, there's a lot of gear being, the constant new gear coming through. How does Taccom stay innovative with their shotgun caddies and their gear, with how fast everything's coming out in the market?
Well, I do still shoot the game somewhat, a lot less than I did, say, 20 years ago. But I listen to the shooters. I've got that design mindset. I see things and I say, hey, why can't we do this better? Is there something that we can do? You'd think it's all been designed by now, but if you look at the way this sport progressed, even over the last 20 years, we started literally loading off of the shotgun with side saddles. Then we went to the shell caddy. Then we went, and even at that, the shell caddy, it was all a strong hand load. Somebody got the idea, hey, let's put it on the weak side and load with the weak hand. The same thing with this two-up loading. It's been huge in Europe for years. Was brought over here about, just about 4 years ago, and it's really started to catch on. And then there's this quad loading that's come about, and even the six-up loading, the hex loading, that's even starting to catch on a little bit. That is not for the weak. That, but imagine being able to load 6 at once. I can do it with my 20 gauge. The 12 gauge, for me, my hands, I've got to say my hands are just too small for having 6 12 gauge shells in my hand. So.
Me too.
Yeah, are any of your shooters using the hex system?
I'm not.
My hands were big enough for it.
I really only, one guy that can do it great is actually one of Jay's other sponsors, Mark Roth from X-Rail. That guy has paws like you would not believe. And actually, Mark Roth and I, Mark is a Wisconsin boy. Him and I, we talked during the hunting season one year and came up with the actual quad load design together, actually over the phone. And we actually both applied for the patent as to the way that the shells are being held in the quad loads. And at the time, we had the hex load designed up, and somebody put out a, basically a joke on the Brian Enos forum about a hex load or an octo load, and it's like, okay, time to bring it out. And we've sold, surprisingly, we've sold a lot of the hex loads. And the beauty about the hex load is, if you can't hex load, it still makes for a great quad load. So it's not like they wasted their money buying a hex load. They figure they can't do it. Okay, it makes for a great quad load anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Is there any, so you're not out there. If you buy it and you think your hands are big enough and they're not, it's just not your technique. It's not working for you.
Correct.
You can still use it as a quad loader. That's good to hear. Is there any type of recommendation on technique? I don't know if you shooters want to, but you guys said you weren't using them, but if there are any to get, I think the technique is just having huge hands on that. I mean,
it's the same technique as quad loading. It's just, if you measure, as a rule, you measure between your pinky and your thumb. If you're 9.5 inches there, you can probably hex load. If you're under 9.5 inches, when you stretch out like this, probably shouldn't be loading hex load. I think Mark Roth is like 10 or 15 inches. I think the guy could octo load. So he's a freak.
But he doesn't have to, because he runs SLE X-Rail, so that's not even in his thinking.
That's the other thing. The guy never has to load anyway. He's got, a gazillion shells in that shotgun.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold back on keeping this one PG-13, but the whole 9.5 reference, me and Dylan are going back and forth in the chat that you can't see here, but we're like, dude, we're trying to hold back on that one. Let's keep it clean.
Let's keep it 13. I'm gonna hit the mute button.
You might as well kill. Let me stop it. Let's not go there, man. Let's keep the live questions rolling here.
All right.
What, Kelly? What do you have? I mean, we were at obviously all you guys were at Rock Castle 3-Gun Pro-Am match. How was that match? How'd you guys do? What's the whole deal there? Kelly, take it away.
Well, it was fun. I'll say that. I had never shot the pro side before, so that was a whole new ball game. And I don't think that the stages were necessarily super technically difficult, but there was a 100-second par time that just killed me because I have a problem. I like go to war with the target and it's hard for me to let go and pass it up. So that's what I really, really, really had to work on. Like, I didn't have a problem with long range necessarily because Jay came out and helped me sight back in my rifle that I was having problems with. But I just, if you're not already running with the big dogs, that pro side is just difficult to keep it, with the 100-second par time. So I had a great time. I think my favorite stage was two. Um, it was it was rifle and then it was pistol shotgun optional, but I did all three. I ran my shotgun until I was out, and then I did the pistol part. And I know both Jay and Dylan did pretty good. Dylan had a stage win, right, on the all shotgun and groupers stage, right? Yeah, so he smoked it, and it was all shotgun, so that will be thanks to Mr. Tim Hubel. And like I said, Jay did pretty good. What were your guys' favorite stages?
Mine, I'd have to say it was probably that shotgun stage. I left the target hanging out there, but I thought I did pretty well on that stage. I watched my video and I seen where I could have chopped a lot of time out. Me and Dylan were kind of talking about it after a match, and we kind of figured you could probably run that stage in about 40, 42 seconds. And I see where I lost a lot of time. I ran in 49. Dylan ran in like 47, I think. And I see where I lost a lot of time. I loaded like 4 extra shells I didn't need to, and yeah, that was probably my favorite stage.
How'd it go for you, Dylan?
I always leaned toward shotgun, so that was a blast for me. I took a little riskier start on it. A lot of people were just shooting plays and then coming after the steel right there at the beginning, and popped the steel in between each set of plays, and that gave me a pretty big advantage. I had about 3 makeup shots on it, so it's fairly clean, but I never really took off running or jogging. I just kind of took a stroll through the woods. It ended up clean and smooth, so that's all that mattered. And,
what about the stage with the slugs? How did you guys do on that stage?
I was glad not to time out. So that gives you an idea. My shotgun went single shot with the salt shaker in the middle with all the slugs in the tube. So big thanks to Brandon over at the X-Rail booth. Actually got me a new tube, new follower, new spring, new extension before the all shotgun stage. Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was difficult. The stage we were talking about, it was set on the golf course, which was really different for us there because we're used to just like going all the way through the golf course, making sure nobody's there, like don't act crazy in your vehicles. There's actually people there playing golf, but they had it closed, and so there was 3 boxes within the stage. You did some long-range rifle from the first box, and then no, I guess you did your shotgun slugs first. You shot at 7 12-inch targets, I think, between 50 and 60 yards with slugs. And then when you were done or hit them all, you shot some long-range rifle from that same box, and then you repeated that same rifle in a second box, and then you had to engage those 7 steel targets with your pistol from either that second box or there was a closer one. And yeah, that was a really tough stage for people to not time out on because, like I said, I go to war with targets, and the RO, Mr. Pete Lau, he told me beforehand, he said, don't go to war with the targets, don't go to war with the targets, and I tried my hardest not to, but that was our 4th stage on one day, and by the time we were out there in the 100-degree plus weather, I just I didn't care. I just wanted to make it without dying, so I'm sure there's people that did very, very well on it, but it was rough.
What was your thoughts overall? I mean, like we were talking to a lot of shooters there during the live stream, and they said that is the match. If it's the only match you can make it to in the year, that's the match to go to. What are your thoughts on that? Do you see it the same way?
Yeah,
absolutely. That's always a fun match. Go ahead, Dylan.
No, it's the hardest match to get into. You know, you're sitting here at your computer and it rolls over at 9000001, and you're hammering your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, a laptop, and two other people who are trying to get you in at the same time. There's more vendors there than what you're going to see in any other match. So there's a lot of things to draw you there. It also says something. You got 100-second car time on every stage, and big name pro shooters are climbing out for the first time in 2-3 years. So it's rough. It's a big boy match.
Yeah, it definitely is. If you want to test your skills, I think it's probably the match to attend. Like Dylan says, you got all the big dogs running that match, and that's why I enjoy it. Just I like to kind of see how I stack up against those guys. And unfortunately, this match I didn't have too good of a placing, and but like any other match, you learn from it, and you just move on. And I learned a lot at this match. I figured out exactly why I had a horrendous match, and it boils down to just I took the targets for granted. I didn't respect the targets. I'd been there for the week shooting the regional match, and I felt pretty in tune with everything. And the long range shouldn't have been a problem. All the up close stuff shouldn't have been a problem. It wasn't for the most part, except for they were smaller targets, half IPSC size targets, paper targets, smaller poppers, this and that. But it was like oh, I got this. This is real easy. And I think that kind of just took me, it ruined my game, and I should have respected the targets more. And then I think, I just kind of put too much pressure on myself because I really wanted to place well at this match instead of just shooting my game and letting it hang out there like I normally do. So I kind of relearned that, just relax and enjoy it more. And I think I got a little too serious about the match, and I think that's what ruined the match for me. So let that be known. Just get out there and shoot your game, and you can only do what you can do. So don't try to do anything more. That'll be my thing.
Yeah, I mean, every match is a lesson learned, especially you don't have to be the best shooter in the world. Go out there, have fun, learn from those pro shooters. Prize table aside, obviously the prize table was huge at that match, like it is at a lot of three-gun matches. But you get to learn, and like Jay said, I mean, he learned a ton. So I'm pretty sure the next match he's going to be a hell of a lot better and plays a lot well. And that goes for all sports, especially with IDPA, USPSA, all the same. You got to learn stuff if you didn't place very high, and even if you did place high, you're still going to learn stuff. So very good stuff. Let's hit to some live questions here that's coming in. This one's from Leo. Have you tried using Kydex clips versus spring steel to hold shells in place? Would closer spacing help control shells during stripping from the carrier? So whoever wants to take that one.
Well, go, Tim. I think you've kind of experienced that both.
Well, wow. I'm wondering if they're not referring to more of the dual load. That would be, oh boy, these little monsters here, where I'm using a spring clip as opposed to, plastic. And when I came up with this design back realistically a long time ago, I said I'm not going to bring this out on the market until I can buy a clip that's on the shelf. And I found it 2.5 years ago, and that's when we started producing these. I've dabbled with making this design with Delrin. It just seemed a little too fragile, and it seemed to go better with a thicker clip for the Delrin. There's other companies that are doing that, and they're doing it well with the Delrin clips. I think this is one of the reasons why the dual loads are so inexpensive, is because we can use an off-the-shelf item and just have to make the backer plate. And, you know, I mean, you're looking at a 4-up caddy, you know, least expensive on the market. I think we've got them on the website. They're like $24 for 4 shells. So that's my story.
There's a story on that one. Thanks for the question, Leo. We have one here coming from Brian here. Quad load technique. I just picked up double deuces from Jay last night and been practicing a little. Is there a way not to get the shells to pinch in the middle? They kind of collapse on me. So.
Yeah, it's actually the easiest thing for me to do is offset them. You know, if I've got caddies here, my first set that I got here for strong hand will be sitting level. The next will be up an 1/8 inch or so. When I bring them together in the middle, they're crossed, and the brass on one is going to hit the crimp on the next, and they won't cross over. I know a lot of guys will run them level, but for me, this is what works.
And do you talk about that in your YouTube video or anything, Dylan? If you guys don't know, Dylan made this awesome quad load video, and it's on YouTube. I'll find it, and we'll try to get it up on our page so you guys can see it. But I don't remember if you talk about that or anything in your video.
I think I did. I used the chest rig that I'll use in matches. I used it in the video to kind of show, and which it's using the, I think Tim's calling the double deuces or whatever you want to call them, but it's a new version of the dual deuces. And I went over a couple of things that I did in the technique doing strong hand loading, which is a little bit different. I know Jay does weak hands, so you'll get a different perspective there. But the whole goal of that was just to give everybody, you know, listen, take 5 minutes, sit down with the video, do this part, now come back, do another 4 or 5 minutes, do this part, try and get better, pick a little aspect at a time. And a lot of it, honestly, I got from watching IDPA. The guy kept his elbow in tight, kept his hand straight, everything went in fast. And so you got to run with what works.
The one thing I would add, as far as, you know, whether or not shells be in the middle, he's new at this, I'm assuming, with the 2-up or 4-up loading. One thing I always tell my customers, yes, you want to be slow at first. The one thing you don't want to be slow at is the grab. If you grab the shells and pull them out slow, they're going to naturally be on you. So when you grab the shells, grab them with authority and pull them out fast, and they won't be on you. But that's the only part I would say you want to speed up on your technique to begin with, is actually getting them out of the caddies. If you pull them out fast, every time they're going to come out and they're going to be straight.
And you also have some videos about that too, don't you, Tim? I know I've seen them on your Facebook.
I have some videos on that.
Out.
We're just in the process of doing a lot more videos. I've got a son, Matthew. The kid is just doing a great job on videos. It just pride. The pride is there. In fact, we just posted a new video tonight on our Taccom YouTube video site. Right now, we're doing a lot of instructional assembly videos, but yes, we're going to get into the more of the beginner techniques. And yeah, he's been doing a great job on that. He really keeps it bubbly. He's got the voice for it. So.
Where can they find those videos at? Is there a specific YouTube channel? Is it on the website? Where can we get a hold of it?
You're talking to a guy that's not really a techno geek. If you get into YouTube and type in Taccom, our channel will come up. That I do know. So
Or
and
they've been posting them on their Facebook too. So if you just
I've
go to
been
their
posting them
Facebook,
also
they're on the page.
on the Taccom's Facebook page.
Yeah, so definitely go check out Taccom on Facebook if you guys are still using Facebook. Just type in Taccom up there, and it'll be the first one to pop up. So you guys can follow there and get those videos as they are posted live. Got carried away a little bit with the conversation here. We got the new giveaway announcement here. Episode 55 was announced. Those winners were announced earlier today. But the giveaway for today is a 16-up quad load chest rig. I think we have some of those here to display. I think, Tim, you got them, right?
That is this little bad boy right here. It is basically 4-up quad loads that we put onto a backer plate, and you can put that right on your chest. The nice thing about having these on a chest rig is you can spin them, you can use them, you can spin the entire system around your, so if you're not going to use them, if you want to go prone, sometimes a chest rig like this is a good thing to have. Use it when you need it, take it off when you don't. But that's the first item that you're giving away today.
And then we have the 16-up dual load chest rig. And
Yeah.
we're also throwing in a 2-ounce bottle of RAN CLP. So there'll be 2 winners. And the giveaway ends midnight tonight. I got the links going up on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page right now. I'm going to try to get them as the conversation goes up in the YouTube comments section. So definitely check out the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, and we'll get that giveaway link up. It ends midnight tonight, so even if the show is over, I'll make sure I get those posted everywhere. So if you guys miss it, you guys still be able to join.
All right.
And that's the dual load you're showing us right there, right, Tim?
That's the dual load, yes. Same thing, chest rig, very pliable. So this is actually, I grabbed a 12-up, not a 16-up, but the winner will get a 16-up, not a 12-up. So.
Yeah, so a big gear help for those of you beginning 3-gunners or those who are looking for an upgrade. Those are definitely... Dylan, you use those, right? You use those specific ones, those chest rigs? I know you use them on occasion, but...
I actually use just a piece of Kydex. It's about 4 inches, 3 inches wide, and then I'll use nylon webbing, and I put the new version of the dually deuces on there. I like to pull a little better and a little faster from those. So what I'll do is, if you see the back side of it, cut slots through there, put a buckle on it, and when I'm done with it, instead of sending it around my back, I'll just pop the buckle and throw it on the ground. Until a 3-gun match says you can't leave anything behind, I'll continue to do it that way. And I've gone prone on it, never had an issue, never lost a shell, but I like to pull a little faster from those. They are probably a little more expensive, but when you're talking about a big shotgun stage that's 30, 40 rounds, the more I can pull from my chest, the faster I can do it, and I can always hit the stuff at the waist level for reserve later.
Right, and that's perfect for people who don't have a lot of real estate on their belt, because on that shotgun stage, I was running this, arm loader thing, and I've even had, a drop leg holster kind of thing around my leg with another one of his shell holders on there and stuff, so that'd be perfect to have another spot to put it around your waist, and then, you can make sure you have enough of the rest of your stuff on your belt, too, so that's a huge help.
That was like the zombie loadout that Kelly had going on. I mean, and she had it on. I was like, "You're actually going to use that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I had to use it."
Well, no, I didn't use the one that I had a picture of on my Facebook that was meant to go on my shotgun stock. I had a friend that actually let me borrow one of the ones that are actually for your arm, so I wasn't that ghetto.
That's the one I thought you actually used, the one you posted up on your Facebook. I'm like, "You're actually going to use that?" And I think you said yeah to me, but
I was going to until he brought it and let me borrow the ones that actually Velcro around your arms and are made for that.
Well, if you hadn't
I would have.
You could use mine.
True.
There you have it.
Not my fault. Sorry, Squad 1.
Yeah, Schwell's chiming in here. I did get last week's winner was announced at the very beginning of the show, um, which was Raymond Hoadley and Michael Brayton. Those were the winners of episode 55 giveaway. If you didn't win that one, you can win today's show, which we just announced, which is the two chest rigs from Taccom. The website here, if you're not lucky enough to win this stuff, you can always go purchase it. Website is Taccom3G.com. That'll take you over there. They sell a variety of different stuff, not just shell caddies. But one of those things are also the 22 long rifle uppers. A lot of people are using these to save money, to do some training, to practice with your rifle. What do you guys have going as far as those 22 uppers?
Well, they are available. They are shipping now. We had run out of upper receivers. They are back in stock. Actually, we have everything in stock right now. We're building uppers as fast as we can to get them out. Right now, if somebody was to order one, it's about a week to a week and a half backlog. We're also shortly going to be coming out with an 11.5-inch ultralight barrel for that. For the pistol shooters. The pistol shooters that want to use that big tack arm brake, which is so much fun.
Nice. Are any of you guys also using those 22 uppers, Dylan or Jay?
I've got a version that I've built. I wanted something similar or close to as possible to my competition uppers. So I've got a tack hops, a tack iron, and a training upper that are all built identical. So basically using the comp, barrel, and bolt system, and then mating everything together with the same parts that I had in the others. So.
There you have it. So we talked about the 22 uppers. I think we had a couple live questions rolling in here. Let's go back to that. If they would pop up here. Okay, there they go.
I've got one. Kurt Gruber was asking about the 22 uppers. He was asking about how they work with the triggers that people are using for their ARs. How are they? Are they working with them okay?
Well, anything under a 3.5-pound trigger, you're going to be living on the edge. Especially now, something I've just noticed here with now that 22 ammo is starting to come out, I've actually been able to purchase some. I found that I use a lot of CCI blazers, and the stuff that I have from 2 years ago works great. The stuff that I just purchased is CCI blazer, but it's not igniting. And it's the same trigger. I'll put the old stuff in, works great. The new stuff, not working as great. I don't know if their priming solution, if they're not spinning the cases enough to get the priming solution in, if it's harder brass. One thing we've been doing is sharpening firing pins. In fact, all new uppers were sharpening the firing pins. They used to be 23 thousandths thick. We're going down to a 20,000 thick firing pin on these now, and it seems to be helping. But this is something that's just started happening with all this new ammo that's coming out.
Nice. Here, let's kind of fly through some of these questions. If you guys want to chime in on that, I think I cut somebody off there.
I got an AR Gold in my match upper or my match gun, and it ignites everything fine. But I've got a little 4.5-inch upper for my short-barreled rifle that's registered. When I swapped the Geyser trigger on it was kind of hit and miss. So it kind of depends on the trigger you're putting in. But with my AR Gold, I can swap just about anything and get the job done.
There goes a little word of advice there for the 22 uppers. Questions here coming in on Facebook. I'm kind of backlogged on those. This one's from Ian Clark. He said, will the 1522 handguard adapter let me fit a Samson Evo rail?
We do not sell 1522 adapter. we sell a 1522 handguard, which basically is this little bad boy here. This is a 1522 upper, and what we came up with was a handguard nut that replaces the factory nut, and then you can put our carbon fiber tube on the 1522. We're also coming out with a buttstock for the 1522, and that's going to be released probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. The handguard for the 1522 actually is not on the website yet. It's been leaked out on Facebook. We've got them. We just been so busy with everything else. It's like, okay, where do I put the 1522 stuff on the website? So that's what's happening there.
Right on it. We got Evan. One came in here from Evan Doss. What do you see more of? Are you seeing the dual load or the quad loading techniques?
From a manufacturing standpoint, the double deuces, the dueling deuces, the dueling deuces and the double dueling deuces are just swamping the quad load sales that we've had. We're still selling a lot of quad loads. We're actually still selling a bunch of dual loads. We still go through 1,000 of these little black clips. We go through 1,000 of these clips a month. I have no idea where they're going, but by far our biggest seller right now is the dueling deuces and the double deuces. What are you guys seeing in the matches?
Yeah, how about from a shooter standpoint?
It's definitely a mix. I'd say newer guys are starting out with the load 2 technique and jumping into the double deuces though, because they want to get into the quad loading. So I sold a lot of quad loads this past weekend, and I'd say it's a good mix of both, but a little bit more on the quad load side.
Yeah, let's see here. Also, Aaron's wanted to see Harley the dog. He's posting that up.
If you'll cooperate, Harley. The shop dog is laying down. Harley. He is out.
There we go. Maybe he'll wake up in a little bit. We'll get him to cooperate there.
We'll as he awakes, I'll bring him into view. And I brought him here specially.
Find the treats.
I've got him right here, and he's like, no, I don't care.
Nah. Yeah, he doesn't even care anymore. We also had another one here from Aaron. He says, Tim, what's up with the ultralight AR parts? I hear they're super awesome, so maybe he knows something that's on the inside there.
Well, I've let it known ultimately I'd love to get into the AR game. It's actually a weak market right now, but getting into it as a niche market, I think, is a wise business decision. We've started to dabble in it. We're offering the lightweight buffer system. We're offering a lightweight comp, and we're going to be doing a limited run on 223 uppers. We have our own upper for the 22 Rimfire. I've had a bunch of centerfire uppers made. They're basically a mil-spec upper. They're a mil-spec upper, and we slab off the forward assist. There is no provisions for a dust cover, and it's got our name on there. It's a very lightweight mil-spec upper. This is actually a pre-production 3 1/4 pound 223 upper with adjustable gas. It'll also come with our our low mass, our lightweight buffer system. We're going to be using, actually, the handguard that will be running in production will be a Midwest Industries handguard. This is a 15-inch length. We're going to be offering it in either a 15 or a 12-inch length.
Very nice. That's a very nice piece you're showing there.
And here's the kicker. It's going to be right around 700, and I would love to get it under 700. That's a 3-gun ready upper, 16-inch barrel, 1 1/8 twist. You know, these guys that are making these ultralight 14.5-inch, and then they're pinning on a comp on the end, an 1.5-inch long comp. They're running carbine gas. Some guys are running mid-length gas on theirs. This is a 16-inch barrel. It'll keep your velocity up there. It's going to be an upper that you'll be able to shoot out to 500 yards, keeping the velocity up there to knock down plates at 500 yards. So it'll do anything from the 3-gun nation side, you know, like they run in the Pro Series, out to something in out at Rocky Mountain 3-gun. The same upper you can do for any 3-gun.
And when can we look forward to this upper being released?
I'm going to have 5 done probably within the next 2 weeks, and we'll probably have another 20 done within a month. Our biggest thing right now is waiting on barrels. We've got pretty much everything else ordered. It's the barrels that's stopping right now.
Okay, so definitely.
And the adjustable gas on this is not going to be in the gas block. It is going to, the adjustable gas is going to be on the key on the boat, and it works great.
Very nice there. So look forward to that real soon. As you can see, they're in the process of making a bunch of them. So stay tuned to that website so you can be one of the first to grab one. We had a couple of live questions here coming in for the shooters here, for Jay and Dylan. Where is it at here? This one's from Aaron, and this is, I'm going to kind of combine 2 questions here, one from Sterling W. and one from Aaron. This one here's from Aaron. Would like to know Jay and Dylan's reloading practice routines, both at the range and at home. And then Sterling's question was, how often do you guys practice, and what drills do you practice when you're at the range? So kind of hand-in-hand questions there. So Jay, you want to take that one away, then we'll go to Dylan.
Sure. My practice usually consists of about 15 minutes a day when I can get it in. You know, I'm looking at maybe a combined weekly total of 45 minutes, if I'm lucky, of just quad loading practice. Sometimes it's a little bit more. When the kids and the family, the wife ain't home, I'll run around the house quad loading like a fool.
In Illinois, no less.
Yeah. So when I'm at the range, I like to practice on a plate rack when I can. When I get to a plate rack, I like doing the load 12 drill. I think that's a good drill for loading and shooting and ice speed and all that. So and then of course there's the night before the match. You know, across the hotel room. You know, practice. You know, right before you go to bed. So it always is good just to make sure you still can do it.
There you have it. Dylan, what do you got?
I mean, you're looking at my office here. Right behind me is where I do a lot of dry fire, and also go through and do reload practices in my office. So I take a 2-hour lunch every day. So between going to Buffalo Wild Wings and Georgia in a while, I try to hit the shotgun, play a little bit. At the range, I've got a private range where I go out and practice. I've got a couple different drills that I do. Real simple, you know, 2 rounds. You've got 2 targets spread out a little bit, 2 cones spread out a little bit. Start at 1, fire the shot, load it before you get to the second. No shooting or loading, standing still, and then try and do that over and over and over. I usually find that does more for me than anything because if I'm standing still, I'm wrong. So I should be moving whether I'm shooting or loading, and I prefer to do things that way.
Yeah, he's got a nice little dry fire rigged up there, and everybody should have one of those. I mean, and you can even get those come pre-cut, or you can just kind of make them yourself. Or there's other companies like Shot Master that make them, that actually make them out of wood. So I mean, I don't know if the wife's going to complain about wood going up or cardboard going up or paper going up, but she can choose. Some of them get prettier as the more money you spend. So something to look into there. And Kelly, what loading technique are you practicing with the shotgun?
I've been using dueling deuces that Tim sent me, and I try the quad load. I really do, and I can do it whenever I'm practicing at home. But I think it's just like all the adrenaline rush of at the moment. I get it, and I always end up losing my inside bottom one. I did it this weekend. So, but I mean, I really like these because even if you get the ones that are the quad ones, you can still just pull off two if you want. So, you know, like when people are trying to figure out which ones they want to buy, if you think you're gonna get into the quad load ones, get those because you can still just grab two if you want. And like I said, I'm trying, Mr. Tim. I'm trying. I know he keeps telling me you can quad load, you can quad load, you really can, and you know I can do it at the comfort at home. It's just when that buzzer goes off, like your brain just spills everything, and I always end up losing one. But
Hey, real quick, you're talking about losing shells. Actually, something Dylan pointed out last week. Um, if you load, if you can see this, if you load from the inside out, you know, looking at this, how it's angled, so from the smaller angle, if you load your shells into the caddy from the inside out, it puts less pressure on the shells for some reason, so it makes it a little bit easier to grab when they come out. I'm not quite sure why that happens, or if Tim designed it that way, if it was just kind of a...
Actually, the way, yeah, you're right. If you're pulling from this side, I'd recommend, you're pulling from this side, I'd recommend loading the shells backwards into the system.
Right, yeah.
There's a tip for you guys running that. All right, so this is kind of breaking news as of today. I heard it early this morning. It's been all over the media, been all over the news. There's an incident here. Most of the details haven't been released yet, so we don't want to go too into deep with this. But a 9-year-old girl accidentally shoots and kills her instructor. She was shooting a full auto, or obviously you can select fire. It was an Uzi. So just wanted to get everybody's thoughts on that incident that went down here earlier today. This was over in Arizona, I believe. Instructor had prior military experience, from what I was able to gather on some brief research. I think a lot of people are going to jump and say, at least from what I've heard already, why is a 9-year-old girl shooting a full auto Uzi? So what are you guys' thoughts on this whole thing that's going on?
No.
Kelly, you want to start it off, Kel, and then we can go to down the line.
Sure. I don't see, okay, my nephew, Gavin, whenever I went to the machine gun shoot in April, he was allowed to shoot these fully automatic weapons, and I didn't feel hesitant at all to let him do so because the instructors presented themselves in a way where they helped him out. They held on to him. They did not just give him the weapon and stand beside him and let him shoot. Whereas, in the video that you can see online, The gentleman was standing beside her. He was not holding her. He was not bracing her. He was not helping her with recoil at all. And even for an adult, recoil on those weapons can be crazy. So, as tragic as it was, I can't help but think that it was his fault. Terrible accident. Feel bad, but poor instructional uh, time. It's not her fault. It's not the gun's fault. It was his fault. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in here. I mean, from what I was told, they're like, well, isn't an Uzi a powerful gun? Well, it's actually, from what my knowledge on Uzi, it's a 9mm, so it's not a very powerful round. It's but when you do go in a full auto, obviously there's going to be some recoil. I remember him kind of just telling her, kind of pull back the trigger and brrr, that the muzzle just keeps climbing. And I don't know if she got scared in the middle of that, seeing how that gun climbed so quickly on her, and then things went south from there. But and the way the video seemed to be recorded, obviously, it seems to me that she had her parents' permission to shoot that firearm. I mean, you can, like you said, you can take your kid to shoot a 50 cal Barrett rifle down an hour drive from me, as long as you consent for them to do that. They call it the 50 cal experience. Not too many people get to shoot that caliber, period, or even an Uzi for that matter. So, I mean, it's terrible to hear that this happened, but I kind of do agree with Kelly in the fact where he was standing, I think, was part blame there. It kind of seemed like he was standing next to her, and then like almost slightly in front of her as well. Then again, I'm not a certified instructor, so I don't know how that what training goes and how that whole system works out. But what are you guys' take on it, Jay?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to review the video. I've heard of the story and the tragedy. Obviously, I can't really say too much about what happened. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to review the video. So.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. Obviously, they don't. The video cuts as soon as the incident happens. But you can see prior to that, the video's up there, about a minute long, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. Whoever wants to chime in on this one, you guys can go for it.
Like Jay, I have not seen the video. All I heard is that it was a 9-year-old girl that, shot the instructor. It was accidental. Terrible tragedy. And the instructor, he paid the ultimate price for, I guess, what would probably be negligence on his side. He was the one in control of that situation, and for whatever reason, it got out of control for him, and he paid the ultimate price, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, Dylan, you want to touch up on a couple things?
Well, I'm a NRA firearms instructor, and I've got 3 kids, and all 3 of them, even my 19-month-old has fired a gun. And Uzi's not overly powerful. I shot one of my sponsors was a Class 3 SOT. I love full auto. I hate having automatically pushed away from it after this. It's a tragedy, obviously. Obviously, I'm a father and I have kids. I hate for something to happen to my kids, and I hate for my kids not to have me. That's why you try and do things as responsibly as possible, and unfortunately, this isn't the first time it's happened.
Yeah, I mean, our condolences definitely goes out to the family of the instructor here. I don't have his name written down here, but just a terrible tragedy that happened here. I mean, obviously some details are kind of coming out. It's a pretty fresh story, so we'll probably learn a little bit more about it. And I'm pretty sure you guys should. I mean, like I said, the video is not very graphic. Watch the video, form your own opinion. But there we have it. There on that. I think we had a question here from Brian, kind of toning down the mood a little bit on this one. Tim, when you started Taccom, did you just start with a few machines in your garage, or did you design things and then farm out with a machine work? How did it all happen?
Well, the very first product that Taccom had was actually steel targets. And I drilled the holes on a drill press. I used AR200 steel that I had sheared locally, and I sold them for 22 rimfire practice and shotgun practice. It was kind of a neat design. You just had a hanging steel plate. You could get it in 6, 8, or 12 inch, and you hung it on a shepherd's hook. Now, a shepherd's hook, for whatever reason, it's what your wife would hang plants on. Well, it makes a great target stand as well. What's nice about that design is when you hit the plate, that target just moved all over the place. You had instant notice that you had hit the target. So that was the very first one. I did have a little benchtop mill that you could literally hold in one hand, and we started drilling the backers for our 4-ups, and it drilled 11 holes. Took 4 minutes to drill a hole, but it was repeatable. Today we're making our 4-up backers on a much bigger mill, fancy scallop cuts, and I learned a lot more about CNC milling. Backer like this takes 1 minute to make on our machines. So we've come a long way in that respect. Yeah, I did do a lot of outsourcing on products. I still do on some of the parts. They make the product to the prints that we make here in-house. We have a QC department, basically, that checks incoming inspection to make sure that the parts are good. So I've done all that. I've been through that at other companies I've been at, and quality is job one to get a good product out the door.
There you go. Brian was also saying that he's a designer and he's been fighting with starting his own company and looking for some words of wisdom.
Spam works. You'll be living a lot on spam. Jay would like that.
Speaking of which, where's
I know. Where's your spam?
Spam sponsorship coming very soon.
Yeah.
Jay needs it.
Have at it. You're gonna, it's something. If you're gonna go into business for yourself, go into it wholehearted. Don't go into it. Don't go into it unless you can financially support yourself for a year. That's what I had to do. First year of this business, I ended up selling a lot of stocks at the wrong time, but had to put food on the table. By the second year, the business was self-sustaining, and I'm happy to say we're in our third year. I've got 2 people hired and working for me. We're looking at hiring a third, and next year we're looking at expanding, adding onto our present building. Mistakes, you'll make a lot of them. Keep inventory as low as you can. Do not buy a building with cash. That's what I did, and my accountant yelled at me for half a year. So, because I was able to buy a building with cash, and he was like, "What in the heck did you do that for? You had money you could that you could put other places." I'm learning a lot in the business. Let's put it that way.
There you go. There's some very good advice there from Brian. We had someone come in for the shooters. This is from Sterling White. He has a lot of good questions here. For the shooters, what are some of your best memories in your 3-gun career so far?
No, man, I got so many. Probably one of my most favorite one. Well, traveling with Mark Roth is always an adventure. Um, and I gotta say,
Good
one of
Lord, yes.
Kelly knows.
You never know a person until you spend like 24 consecutive hours in a truck with them riding to Vegas.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that
I
Ford
got
truck just keeps going. It just keeps going. Oh man, but probably one of my most fondest memories is taking a long road trip to Phoenix with Mark and stopping to see uh, everyone at the Michelik Ranch. You know, Jerry and Kay, and being able to shoot with them, and meeting Ben Hayes and meeting uh, Jim Clark Jr. and just stepping foot on that sacred ground there for me. That was huge for me. Mark, he's probably used to going down there, and I was still a little starstruck, or whatever you want to call it, but it was huge for me, to be able to shoot with Jerry, and spend the day and pull from his wisdom. He had a lot of really good things to say, that I took to heart. And that's probably one of my most fondest memories. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Dylan, you want to touch on that?
Man, I always try to do what's recent. Let things go when they go bad. So up until recently, they usually went bad. So after the Fidelity Shotgun match back in May, and then the regional and the Pro-Am having a couple really good stages here and there, I try to remember those, how that felt, and how my prep was ahead of time. And remember that when the stage goes bad, give yourself a half hour, walk away, uh, take a deep breath, try not to throw your shotgun into the lake in front of the golf course. Uh, Key advice there. But then turn around and just take the good and try to remember, how was I prepared? How was my mind right? How did things go? Did I really take a risk? Did I just think I was? Those have been the best times.
There you have it. Let's get into the giveaway here one more time. I'm getting a little echo here. I don't know from where it's from on my end, but giveaway one more time for those of you guys just joining us. We got the 16 up quad load chest rig. We got the 16 up dual load chest rig. That's all coming from Taccom3G.com and the folks at Taccom. Very, very awesome for them to pitch that in. And we also got the cherry on top. We got some RAN CLP. So RAN 2-ounce bottle RAN CLP. 2 winners. That's ending midnight tonight. That's Eastern time. We will select those winners tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So stay tuned for that. If you don't have Facebook, just you can still look and see if you're the winner. I will try to send an email. I will send an email to the winner I select regardless, but it's good that you guys, faster you guys get me your address, the faster this stuff goes out, the faster you guys can practice with it, and we can be done with it. So very awesome giveaway there. The links to this show, the links to the giveaway can be found on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, and I will post them in the comments section of this video. So right below there will be a link. I'm not going to do it. I don't know if it's there now, but I will do it after the show broadcast stops because I got too many windows open and it's just too much for me to handle in one shot. But you could definitely find it on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So go over there. 2 winners tonight. It's going to be an awesome giveaway as usual. Let's see. Let's get into this one. Sterling W. asked another question that I had written down here, but he said, any advice for new or established shooters looking for sponsorship? So Tim, this, directed towards Tim here. I mean, how do you recommend or give some advice on? I want a sponsorship from you. What do you think's the best way? What are you looking for?
I'm going to sum it up in a comment I made to a shooter this last weekend that had a pretty terrible performance at the match. And he kind of You know, he was kind of down that he had a poor match. I think what I wrote him is really what I look for. And I told him good or bad performance is only a personal thing. Helping out, teaching, willing to learn, and having fun doing it all leaves an impression on everyone. And that is what I look for a shooter that I would love to have wear the Taccom badge. I don't care if you're the best. I look for a great steward. You know, the 3 people that we have here, they speak volumes to that. You know, it wouldn't be fair to not mention people like Brian and Nathan Payne. You know, great people. New shooter that I just pulled on, Jake Latola, up here in Minnesota. These guys, they love to shoot the game. They love to help. They're good shooters, but they like the game, and that's what I look for. I want people to have fun. I want people that are gonna, you know, willing to help others, willing to help, you know, whether it be set up a match, tear down a match, you know, just help any way they can. Because people like that are not only a good steward for Taccom, they're a good steward for the sport.
There you have it. Very nice. That's some very good advice there. And if from the shooters, obviously Kelly, Jay, and Dylan, I mean, you guys are very successful pulling in sponsors. So what is that piece of advice you always give those people who ask you about sponsorship?
You guys go. I talk about this all the time, and I'm just blessed that I always get to talk about who is a huge sponsor for all these matches. And if he doesn't shoot, he comes and he ROs and he spends time, and you know, he helps people just as much as he says that his sponsor shooters helps. He will help you. He will give you recommendations. He would even give you recommendations if it wasn't his you know, his products that he sells. He's one of those that will help you, period. So we're all very blessed to have him on our side. But you guys go ahead.
I would say, you know, Tim touched on a good point. I love the sport of 3-gun, and people have asked me how you get sponsorships, and I, you know, I always tell them, hey, you know, if you love the sport, just love the sport, and they'll love you back. So do what you can to push the sport forward, and you know, good things will happen. So.
Yeah, just to jump in here quickly, I mean, that's kind of what Jay just said is also what Tim is also referring to. You love the sport, and the sport will love you back. I know it kind of sounds really generic, but if you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Dylan, what do you have as far as on your end?
I've got a little different perspective. Before shooting 3-gun, I did the sport bike stunt riding scene, and a lot of guys had the attitude of, I'm really good, so I should be sponsored, and I'm really good, so you should be giving me stuff. And, I'm a small business owner now, and I was looking at being a small business owner then, and my perspective is, I'm putting an investment in you, what am I getting back? If I'm putting an investment in somebody and you're putting a bad name out there, I'm not getting my money back, I'm getting a negative return. I'm getting a negative image, and so you've got to have a good image. You should be helping out new shooters. I've got a couple of new shooters here in Kansas City, Corinne and a few other people that I'm trying to help out, and you know, stuff like helping with the shotgun, helping with the loading technique, guiding them through directions, having them over to practice, stuff like that. Then turn around and, you know, your performance in a match isn't directly related to how you did as a sponsor shooter. That's just depends on where you're going to walk in the prize pit. So the way I've always approached it, you know, I've approached a few potential sponsors recently that this is what I'm asking for, and here's what I'm expecting to give you in return. And if I'm not giving them more than what I'm taking in, That's not a sponsorship deal. However, it's so happy.
Hold on, I got muted for a second here. Question here coming in from the Facebook here. Let me grab it again. Do you guys have a demonstration on the hex load? So you guys have any YouTube videos or any demonstration on that? This question's coming in.
You know, we do not. I've got to get together actually with Mark Roth to get that demonstration going. I have a feeling that if I don't have one by deer hunting, I will have one after deer hunting because Mark Roth lives very, very close to where I go deer hunting in the winter. So
There you go. And you guys are,
Mark Roth may meet my brothers.
very nice. And we happen to get the Facebook, the YouTube page is Taccom 3G. So if you plug that into the YouTube search bar, their channel will pop up, and there's where that hex load video would probably go up on as well.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned to the Facebook, their Facebook and their YouTube channel that I just gave you. And that's it. That's all I have for live questions. Let's jump into the lightning round. We're a little bit late on the lightning round today, but this one, just yes or no, quick answers on this one. And this was also a question, but I saved it for the lightning round. Or do you guys prefer? And I think we talked about this though, but I have it here. Or do you guys prefer to drop deuces or to toss quads? Is that across the board tossing quads?
Quad.
If Kelly could
do it.
Yeah, if Kelly can do it, she'll be tossing quads too. So I think that's an
Absolutely.
unanimous.
Yeah.
Here's a controversial one. If you guys can only reload your ammo on a Lee press or an RCBS press, there's no Dillon press or Hornady press. What are you guys going with?
Factory ammo. Too late.
Hey, before I bought my Dillon, I had a Lee. I learned how to use that Lee very well, and I was very glad when I bought my Dillon. But if I had to, I'd go back to a Lee.
There you go. Jay, you want to chime in on that one?
Pistol.
I'm a Dillon factory ammo. That's
There it is. Just screw it. Just buy some factory and save yourself time. It's like I don't want to bash the League press. Everybody knows I have one, but to me it was like a firearm that kept jamming and you couldn't figure it out. So you got really good at clearing the malfunctions. So it was like 2 rounds went off and you were tap racking and you were clearing it and you got it going again, and then then another jam happened. So you do get really good at clearing the jams. That's something that you can factor in there. So there we have it.
I thought I was doing really great with the Lee press when I do a 98% success rate loading. Till I got a Dillon and found out that you can actually load 100% on these.
There you go. That's better results that I have on my Lee. If you guys were to get a Lee, I would go super slow, man. I would go like classic tour press. If you have some time. It just less stuff can go wrong. But we're making the lightning round too long here.
Yeah.
1911 or Glock, or we can put 1911 or polymer frame pistol. Which ones are you guys going? 1911, 1911. What do you go?
That's the.
There you go. We got one for the polymer frame. Kelly, what are you going with?
You're fired.
I'm going for a Glock, and Dustin's just crazy for not being here because he would actually have somebody on his side by Jay saying XD. So.
Yeah, finally. There was a couple people. I like the 5.25. I said it a couple times, but I go Glock all the way. 1911s are. I don't know. No, it's not really that fair. They're almost like the Lee press. I don't know. You got a lot of maintenance.
Dillon's amazing.
Yeah.
Dillon's yours is a Hayes custom, right, Dillon?
Yeah, you just need one built correctly.
There you go.
Yeah.
So get it custom built. I guess the factory ones, not to bash any Pacific companies, but I have a couple. Might cause a little bit of an issue there. Let's see, 9 or the 40. If you can only shoot one, carry one, what caliber is for you?
9.
9 for me.
That's across the board, 9?
I got to go with a 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to
9
be
millimeter,
different.
9 millimeter makes you weak. And that comes right from the late Eddie Rhodes' mouth.
But I thought the 40 was called the short and weak round. Are you saying the
I
9mm is?
I remember the day he said it. He said to his girlfriend, Vicky, these guys all shoot 9 millimeters. 9 millimeter makes you weak. We have to weak.
Oh, there you have it. There's his philosophy. Oh, the 40. Oh, man. I mean, you're the second person. It was you and Barack over at Patriot Cases. I remember it because he was the only one who chose the 40 over the 9. And he said he wanted the 40. I can't remember his reason why, but boggles my mind. Also, we got some fast food questions here. In-N-Out Burger or Five Guys? If you guys can only eat one forever, what are you guys eating?
Come on, Jake, don't let me down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that In-N-Out. That was pretty good for fast food.
Man, that's. What do you? Any guys? What do you guys got?
I've never had an In-N-Out burger, so I'd have to lean toward Five Guys.
No opinion.
No.
Live in the boonies.
Live in the boonies, right? Yeah, we don't have. I've had the pleasure to eat Five Guys when I was on the West Coast. That's like all we would eat. It was at least every other day. But In-N-Out Burger is definitely better. We have Five Guys here locally. It's good burger. A little bit on the sloppy side, but In-N-Out Burger definitely reigns supreme. Here we go. We got hash browns or home fries. This was a question I pulled from my earlier show. Seemed to cause some controversy.
Are those hash browns from Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
They do have some solid hash browns.
Go with the hash browns.
They
Go with the hash browns.
Hash browns.
No, I think we figured out it was. What did we figure out? It was hash browns if it was late at night and you didn't care. But if you were actually up in time for breakfast and it was a decent day, you wanted home fries.
There you go. I think that's what it came down to. Yeah, at the end of the hour. All right, and then we got. I kind of threw this one in here on a whim here, and then we got one more gun question. But Frosted Flakes or Raisin Bran? You might lose a man point if you choose a Raisin Bran, I guess. But I don't know. If you want to be healthy, I guess.
Tony Tiger all the way.
Tony Tiger, right? Yeah, I agree with that one. Frosted Flakes, man. I don't know. It just, just you're sitting through a cashier line with a couple boxes of Raisin Bran. I don't know, man. It's a little bit off. And the last question you have here, are you for the ARs? Are you going direct impingement or are you going piston system? What are you guys going with?
DI.
Same thing. I didn't hear. You said both there, Dylan?
I've got both. I've got Firearms, LWRC, Maru, home builds, and I don't really find either one of them to work better than the other. Currently, I'm shooting DI in competition, so that's what I'm going to lean toward right now.
Yeah, we had the Adams Arms guys on here, and they definitely talked about some of the benefits of the piston system. To me, what really jumps out, and I'm just kind of the ones that I'm not one of those guys that really baby their weapons and kind of clean them after every match. And if I shot 10 rounds, gotta clean it. So the piston system kind of helps with that. I think they said they had over, I don't know if it was over 10,000 rounds through one or it was over 5,000, somewhere like that, and they never cleaned it. And he took it apart real quick, and it was clean. It was still good to go. So for those of you guys who are probably not into cleaning your weapons very often, probably a good route to go.
We put 2,000 rounds through a JPC-CR02 before the firing pin has so much gunk on it won't touch off a round.
There. Good stuff.
Glad you'd probably clean it before 2,000 rounds.
Yeah, I find with the DIs that I would usually get to it before 2000 for sure.
I shoot with silencers a lot, and there's some added advantages when you start using that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely. I haven't had a chance to ever shoot a silenced firearm before, so definitely got to change that here in the future.
Get caliber and come out.
There you go. I mean, I know talking about on the silencer stuff, I think I'm out of questions here, but I know Silencer Co. Reached that 12 gauge shotgun silencer. I know that everybody was buzzing over those. People talking about all silenced 3-gun matches coming in the future. You know, all 3 guns silenced. That might be fun. But your thoughts on the 12 gauge silencer from Silencer Co.
I'd love to have one, and I probably will get one. But as far as a 3-gun match, until you figure out how to get the timer to register it, it's kind of a moot point. I shoot them in 223, 308, 9, 45, 22, 17-inch Mars. About everything that you can imagine a silencer can be shot through, or shot through a silencer. I can't wait to get my hands on a 12 gauge one. Currently, most of my cans are from Advanced Armament, and even picked up one of their cans off the regional kit. So they've been good to me so far.
Yeah. Well, can you say? I mean, that 12 gauge one might be a little bit louder. I mean, I've shot next to some 223, 556 gun silence, but can you say it's a does it make less noise than like an unsilenced 22? Because you know those timers can usually pick up 22 shots pretty well.
No, I haven't shot any of the 12 gauge ones yet, but I can tell you the problem is the distance from the silencer. I've shot a couple of 3-gun matches where 12 level matches will let you shoot with a 223 can on. My M4 2000 can is on there, or my 76 QSD, and they can't get the timer close enough without sitting on my shoulders to get it. So that's where the problem is. The pistol just flat out forget it. It's a mouse fart. It's completely inaudible. The shotgun, because of the large diameter, I can expect that to be a little louder.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you would get that's going to be a tough one to pull off there, the 3-gun match all silence, but it'll be fun regardless, timer or not. So, good stuff there. We had one Leo here. We got to catching up on this Q&A, and then we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit. Leo, lightning round question adds in, what is it, a mag lula or up lula, or the thumb press to reload all your stuff? Yeah, I agree.
Up. Yeah.
Thumbs. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but we had a thing back in the day when we always saw, especially people in IDPA. I mean, there's 10 rounds in a magazine. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe if you were loading some AR, maybe if you were loading an AR drum that was brand new. I know some magazines brand new out of the factory can be kind of tough, but 10 rounds and you're using the up lula? Come on, man. Just don't do it. Someone just some comments here. The 40 is a neutered 10 millimeter. Come on, Tim. That one was for Brian. I agree.
45 light.
Yeah. Let's see.
9 millimeter is a neutered 9x23.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I guess Brian's also digging the 1911 equals Lee press comment. Might get some shit for that, but in my experience with we'll say factory 1911s, yeah, man, no, not for me. And I think the smaller they get, the worse they are. So if you're running like a 1911 officer size for concealment, I don't know. I'm not no professional here, but I'd rethink that. And that's gonna. I think we're fair to wrap this one up here. I don't got anything left here. We can run it down to shout outs here. Kelly, you ready for some shout outs?
Yeah, I have a couple of thank yous I want to run through real quick. First of all, thank you to Mark from Carbon Arms, who on this show offered to cut down the stock on my SLP. It ran great this weekend, such a difference to have my shotgun actually fit me. So that was amazing. Thank you very much. I owe you big time. Um, and then just little things like Shade McMillan gave me an adjustable gas key for my bolt carrier group so that I can use Mr. Tim Ebel's buffer system in my rifle, so that will be amazing. And I actually didn't use an RCA bolt carrier group at this match, but I used the Fail 01 that I got a couple months ago, the one that's nickel boron coated, and I had never run it until this match, which I'm not sure that that is necessarily something you want to do with something new like that, but thank goodness I didn't have any flubs, and it ran perfectly, so all good things happened at this match except for all the bad things that happened. But anyways, I know I don't want us to run off before we mention Dylan has a new little product that he has out. So Dylan, please tell everybody about your range card mount for your rifles, please.
It's pretty simple. It's a small part. It's on the rail. So for my tack iron gun, you see it here right behind my T1. For tack irons, I'm basically just using how many inches of hole. For tack optics, this is what I used last weekend at the Pro-Am and at the regional beforehand. It will press fit on and sit right underneath the scope. And essentially what you're going to have is the reticle, so you can take a dry erase marker and mark where your targets are, turn around, go shoot the stage, wipe off what you had on there with dry erase, go shoot the next stage. Jay's one of the guys that we set up with one, and Jay happened to leave his out at the Pro-Am with another shooter, which luckily that's going to turn into them calling order one here pretty soon, I'm sure. But, we $20, it's inexpensive, you can throw it on there. Ideally, we would all know our holds ahead of time, but we all know things happen in the middle of the stage, and you better have a plan for it. So, kind of something I've been running for a little over a year, and somebody finally talked me into selling it.
There you go. Where can we find those at?
Right now, the first set went to the Shooter Source with Jeremy Moore. So we're kind of excited that Jeremy, took a chance on it and is going to be the first one to carry it. He's carrying it at $20, so hard to argue with that when he's not raising the price or anything from that. So. But yeah, the Shooter Source right now is going to be the primary place. I'm going to get a website set up. I may look at doing dealer-only sales. I may do direct sales. I haven't decided yet, but it's literally about 6 days old.
There you go. To check out the Shooter Source if you're interested in that product. Tim, you want to talk about a few more things before we go? Just
Sure. A couple of things. We're always, one of my philosophies at Taccom here is to keep it fresh, keep coming out with new products. We build our company on our products, grow it on our customer service. On the product end of it, of course, we're coming out with a new 11.5-inch barrel for the 22 Rimfire, carbon fiber composite. It's going to come in at about 8-9 ounces. Of course, we're doing the 223 upper. That'll be out shortly. We are finally going to be, we've been asked for a couple years now, we're finally going to be coming out with a carbon fiber barrel for the 1022. That's about a month out. It's going to be a 17-inch barrel. It's going to weigh in at 10 ounces. Super light. Being a tension barrel, it's going to be accurate. And lastly, Dylan's going to be happy about this. We are going to be coming out with the 4-up dueling deuces. They're going to be made pretty much specifically to be put on chest rings. This way, you will be able to get a dueling deuce setup that's a side pull setup, not straight out. You're going to get them so that you can put 20 shells on your vest for quad load. Are you happy, Dylan?
I'd have been happy about a week and a half to have it.
You're fired.
Yeah, there's also ways you can lose a sponsorship once you get it. Dylan just showed how you can do that one way.
I'm good at
also,
yeah, Dylan just showed how to do that.
Once you get the sponsorships, to touch kind of back on that subject that we were on earlier, I mean, I kind of speak pretty blunt. Don't be a sourpuss on the range. I mean, remember that you're representing that company that's on your jersey, so your actions can make that company also look bad. So if you're over there pouting, maybe DQs happen. Not it's just something that happened. I mean, if you're one of those guys that just stay there, it happened, and you help paste, and that's all just real positive on the company that's on your jersey. That makes them all look good. So even though you're out of that match, you're still staying there. You're not kicking dirt at the RO for calling a bad call. Another good stuff on the sponsorship there. It's just like a sponsorship anywhere. If you're a basketball player and sponsored by Nike and you do something messed up in a club, they withdraw that $1 million contract you got with them, and now you're screwed. So, word of advice of the day. I know there's some questions coming in. I don't think we can get to. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the 22 uppers. I know Kurt from Adam's Arms wanted to performance triggers that tend to run in competition area. How well do the 22 uppers work with performance triggers? I think, Dylan, you kind of hit on that with the AR Gold stuff, right?
Yeah, it's kind of rough. I'd be surprised if a Hyperfire didn't work. My Air Gold works great, but you're going to have to try and find out. And the best way to do it, if you got a friend with a 22 upper, throw it on your lower. If it doesn't fire, you answer your own question. I would be really shocked if the Hyperfire and the Air Golds, the cartridge triggers didn't work, but some of the other ones may not, depending on how light the hamstring is.
All right, there you go. Kelly, you got any last-minute questions or anything you want to mention before we start wrapping this up?
No, I'm good. Jay, are you teaching any more classes? I know you have been doing that every once in a while.
Yeah, I got some stuff in the works. Started a new company. Been doing some training and selling some product from various sponsors and friends in the industry. Not quite ready yet, but that's in the works. So looking to do that in the Chicagoland area. So if you're looking to do some shotgun and rifle training, that's something that's in the works.
Where can we find those classes? Is it not up yet, or where can we expect to find them?
Keep an eye out on Facebook, and I'll keep things updated there. I'll be launching a new website and Facebook page, so I'll keep everyone posted. I'm not quite ready to release it yet.
Yeah, go follow him on his Facebook page. Just type in his name here. We'll have all the description, all that stuff in the description box below after this video. So if you want to be his friend, if not, I'm pretty sure there's an option to follow him, and you can still find that information when it goes up. There you go. All right, some shout-outs. Jay, since we were just on you, what shout-outs do you have? Let them rip.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Shout-outs to my good friends, Nitro family, Marcus Roth, Brandon Sanchez, my Rubber City Army family, SNFcasting.com, LukeAR.com, NJKCustomLLC.com, ChicagoSportsandCarrier.com, my favorite gunsmith in the world, WCK Customs, and my favorite bartender in the world, DJ Petra, with his three-minute choice of drink, Bushwhackers, absolutely. And to all my shoe family.
There you go. Dylan, what do you have as far as shout-outs? Let them all rip.
The sponsors, of course, Rubber City, Tacom, Omega, VR.com, have several different sponsors, Black Bullets International. Of course, you know, the guys over at the Expo booth, Jay and Raymond and Mark, you know, they've always treated me well and got me back up and running during the Pro-Am. And you know, you've always got to say out to Mom and Dad for providing the range for me, and to my wife and kids for supporting me, because they didn't get to see me the last 2 weekends, and coming up here in a few weekends, they're not going to see me for a while again. So without their support, there's no way you'd see me for major matches.
Very nice stuff. I think Kelly, you got yours out a little bit earlier. Is there anything you wanted to add in there?
Sure. Voodoo Tactical, like always. XL by RCI. Don't forget they have their giveaway running on their Facebook till August 31st, so there's still time to enter that. Frog Lube, Blaine Tech USA, Animal Customs for our awesome jerseys, Benchmade Knives, Notch Gear for hats, and Fail Zero, and Mr. Tim Evil. Tacom.
There you go. Tim, what do you have on your end?
Well, give a shout out to my lovely wife and son who are probably watching this from home. You know, we got a couple birthdays here. We got a Mr. Hung Dang out in Colorado. Shooter, been shooting the sport forever. Hope your birthday is happy today, Hung. And then we got a fellow manufacturer over at Tactical Machining. Darren Peters Jr. Today is his birthday, and hope you guys both have a great birthday going on today. Boy, I've got so many shout outs to so many people that have helped me, shooters that believed in me to get this company started, to keep it going. It's just humbling at how great the shooting community is. I mean, you got Pat Kelly, great guy. Shout out to him. Sterling White, great guy. Scott McGregor, Kurt Miller, Trapper Sorensen. There's just, I'm going to miss people if I start shouting out, and they all mean so much to me. Like I said, the shooting community is very, very, has very, very much humbled me in my heart. So.
Yeah, very nice. You know, at least half of the shooters we already had on the show. More recently, Scott McGregor was on. We had Pat Kelly on. So great shooters. They were, I mean, awesome guys to talk to on the show.
Me money. No.
There you go, Pat. He does watch these shows, so I'm sure.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. So you owe Tim some money there. Pay up. He accepts PayPal as well, direct or something like that, I'm sure.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cash. Remember, he bought that building on cash, so he's a cash guy. All right, shout outs on my end. Just be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. If for those of you guys who are not subscribed, every Wednesday at 9 we have a new Shooter's Mindset episode. Throw in some gear reviews here and there. Throw in some IDPA and some competition shooting videos. That all goes on the channel. Also wanted to give a special shout out to everybody in here today. Jay, Dylan, Tim. Their website is taccom3g.com. If you're looking for some gear for 3-gun or some rifle gear, or just go over there and check out all the stuff they have to offer. Shout out to tacticallife.net for supporting me. Nate Square Tactical, Black Bullets International, and Chandler. We had a show with him. He's awesome. Traction Grips, Late Tech Industries, Fort Mill Munitions, and Terran Tactical Innovations. All big supporters of me, all big supporters of the show. And that'll do it. The giveaway here, last minute, real quick. 16-up quad load chest rig, 16-up dual load chest rig, and a 2-ounce bottle of Rand CLP that's ending in about an hour and about 25 minutes on my side. So it'll end at midnight Eastern. There will be a link in the comment section below this video, as well as on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So go check all those out. And that'll do it. The winner will be selected on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. tomorrow afternoon, we'll say, this time. And I think I'm pretty sure I'll hold that
Right.
promise.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
I'll hold that one. I'll hold that one. There we go. Thanks for tuning in to episode 56 of the Shooter's Mindset. We're out.